Okay, hello everybody. So I wasn't going to roll this evening, and sometimes I do take the night off, but sometimes no. And that's that and the light in the sky and in our homes and in our soul and heart. That's what we need to utilize to activate. And so I hope that if you feel that there's a lot of darkness within you, that you're aiming towards light. Um, so I was just sitting here thinking about. Um, I was just sitting here thinking about, and it's interesting because I don't feel like he. There's been a couple of lovely souls recently who have told me that from the afterlife that weren't connected to me, and it's actually something that they, you know, and this happens. It's all because they want to connect and have a lovely conversation and pass a message to their loved ones. That's what it's about here. And I was just thinking about me and Dan's brother earlier on here. The podcast got long, and I would say it was about, and somebody was there and stayed there almost for the whole experience, if not did for the whole experience, which was probably, and sometimes you just have to have the full experience, which was probably, I'm just wondering, did I forget to bring that, yeah, because I don't think this is it. Where is it? I thought there was more in there, though. I'm just going to go quickly check. I should put my coffee in first, though, eh? Of course. And if anybody thinks Woody got in it, that make it this way or this way. That wasn't really, and I think honestly a lot of us are, almost all of us are. I just really wasn't in tune with it. For whatever reasons, I wasn't. But basically, yeah, talked with a friend's brother in spirit. Sorry, I'm moving around a lot. I'll stop in a moment. BFS forever, LJKU, just kidding. Okay? But I don't mind the sense of humor. The question is, why do you instantly say you? I mean, I'm pretty sure you don't mean that stands for something. Um, but I won't stand for it. I appreciate the just kidding, but that's. And BFFS, best friends forever? Forever LJK. I'm curious what that means too. Let's chat. And, I mean, sometimes somebody comes across a certain way and you realize that maybe it's good to have a bit of a conversation with them. There's something else um, that is being kind of, what's the word, deflected upon somebody, and there's sometimes something else there, and understanding people's behaviors, and getting to know them, but then it looks like they didn't stick around, so they won't stick around. Fine with me. Anyway, so as I was saying, Um, I'm kind of multitasking, but I'm doing something that won't take me very long. Um, but otherwise, I'm doing this, so welcome. And what is this, you may ask? What is this that I'm doing? Well, you can see in the title, which might sound intriguing, and um, it wasn't entirely meant to. It is just what it is, but I could see how it'd be like, that's a very interesting YouTube title. I mean, especially to someone who's never seen my content before. Not that I post about that kind of thing all the time or anything like that, but they might be like, what is this? Well, let me tell you what it is. So, are you going to talk to me sometime soon, dude? Yeah, I will get to you in just a moment. I promise. Okay, because it is getting... Okay, I promise. I'm very glad that you're here, and I'm very glad that you're here. I just have to run upstairs very quickly for something, but I'm going to take the device with me this time. So, um, and basically, okay, and then we got Tubi here. Welcome, glad to have you here. No, I think that must be the one that I brought down. Oh no, this might be it. I don't know. Yeah, I think it is. Okay, so sorry for the distraction. Going back downstairs, settling in to have some coffee, and share with you what is likely to be a beautiful experience that could be healing for all of us. So, and it looks like the two people left right as I said that. They're like, I don't like beautiful experiences. They're like, no, not gonna be something I'm into. I mean, but again, it also could be that the phone died or something came up in the environment, and who knows. But, and yeah, people might think, it could be you're weird. Yeah, some people might think so, but this isn't just me, and this isn't just, you know, we're all a little weird, that's the thing. And thankfully nobody's actually ever said it. It's not something I share with a lot of people, and when I do, it's amongst other believers. But I've started to, and it helps people, and donating is optional, and it helps people, and that's really the main thing. And it helps me a lot, and it's interesting. I'll tell you that much. So what is it again that I'm referring to? A good is basically. So I was thinking about the visit I had earlier. Like say it was quite a long video, and it was probably at around the 3-something hour-ish mark. I had a lot of spare time today. I mean, it is kind of in a way the spot I'm at in life, and I'm working on it. So I just want people to know before they think, because it's not like I get the most. I appreciate it as much as I can, and I think that that's a good approach to have. But it's not quite where I'd like to be in life. But I am thankful that the channel's been, getting a bit more hyped again, and that might be rhythms. Yeah, it's good. So we'll have yet another one to share with them, perhaps. But might just have to do it in order of either what's the top or what came first. Anyway, basically, and it's very interesting because his brother came back, just like I came back to his podcast later that night. Later the night there. Then, and some people will be very busy. But I think I don't really go to the bathroom or anything like that. I'm fine with that. And I can't remember what he said, but then it was kind of like, I thought, what if people were to ask, what is it like to go through life, with disability? To be honest, my own loved ones, sometimes they're there in subtle ways and sometimes stronger ways from the other side. And that's the same for all of us. And they respect that that sometimes we don't need to visit or we don't want one, from them. And it's not that we don't love them, it's just we're doing something else, we're doing okay, whatever it is. Um, and but they sure do love to connect with us, occasionally when they can, and they sure do still love us and watch us from the other side. And it's, I talk about, how can we bring that into our life ourselves, because I think we all can, but sometimes it's somebody else doing it. And anybody who's religious, I'll just say this can coexist with religion. This can coexist with loving and following God if you choose for it to. Um, you know, and so anyway, basically, and I thought, as far as other people's, loved ones or angels, it's like, I'm doing it since I was 25. I'm just past 30s. And it's like if they know that I'm near their loved one or somehow connected to them, they'll try a little bit. Or sometimes, they've observed for a while, and then they're like, okay, I want to connect with him. I know he's not next to them, but maybe he can get it to them. But it's a rarity, I would say. I think they're trying more themselves to connect to their loved one, and keeping hoping that they can. That's possibly also part of it, because truth be told, that was their loved one. You know what I mean? And so, but it doesn't always precipitate the connection. And so, and I think too, just not that there aren't a lot of respectful people out there in the world, but there is in some ways not. But I think that basically, it's something that they are better at there. Do they get impatient sometimes? Do they get frustrated? Yes. And in fact, fella I was referring to in the title is a little bit. I've noticed that I get flash visuals, and I've noticed that he's just watching me walk around, and he's like, "Do I get to say something?" So the floor is yours, dude. I mean, I don't know if your mother or any of your loved ones will see this, but there's a possibility. There's a possibility. You know that I'm to her. You know that I was seeing her in person for a few workshops that have finished. Whether I'll meet her again where that happened or run into her otherwise, I don't know. He says, well, I wanted to make sure that you guys connected. And I'm not doing the accent to be rude or anything. It just helps make him real. And he would have one. I honestly came downstairs, and I know what my content was. And G wasn't around for it. He was at work. So I can easily, he's like, it's about you again. It's not. I'm just explaining for my viewers, and it's just how I do it. And it says that, I was, but there was some things I wanted to do on the computer, and I still plan to. But one thing that is sometimes a good idea is not to ignore them. That is the truth. And so, and yet he's like, and that's what you're doing, though. I don't want to, he would eventually possibly just give up, come back another time, perhaps. But I don't want to make anybody upset. I don't want to, I empathize with his frustration. So, as I said, floor is yours, dude. What would you like to say? It says, first of all, nice to meet you. And I see, he reaches out to shake my hand. And he says, and I've made a few connections from this country before, and one of them just the other day was watching me as I did something like this, and seemed to have accepted it. I think he's probably sleeping right now, so that's cool. But he's like, I don't know about this woo-woo stuff, but you're sensing me. You're sensing me. This is very cool. And again, sorry for the accent. It's just making it feel. It does feel real to me. Experiencing this telepathy, it feels very real, and I hope that you can sense that from the screen. But it's bringing that. It's bringing, and plus, I actually kind of sometimes think I do the accent very well. Maybe it sometimes verges into like British Australian, but some people there get that accent because they've lived there. He's like, "May I, sir?" Sorry. He's like, "You talk a lot." He's like, "But I knew what that was like because of my mother." I just would like to say for a moment, just to the who we're referring to and who's with us here, and for you to hear as well. But really to him, your mother is a lovely woman, I must say. She. He says, "I thank you." Um, It's really sad to me that you passed away so young, and that she had to go through that. It was. It was for my whole family, and my friends. He says, "Yeah, I mean, of course it was, right? But I'm okay," he says. And some of them are still struggling so much with it, he says. "But I think you see, my mother, she, she's come a long way." And again, I feel weird. I doing the accent, I do feel a little bit like I'm mocking, but I know that that's not my intent. And I know that the connections that I've made in this country, and anybody else who sees this, I would hope they realize that. That's. But anywho, and he's actually telling me he understands. He's like, he says I have an accent. You know, some people say I do. I don't hear it. I don't even say A very much for a Canadian. I don't think. But okay. But and this is the thing. Because also realizing I'm running this podcast as well, and also that I don't know if his mother's going to text me back. I don't know if I should call her, to be honest. It's been about a week and a half since I've seen her in person. And he says, "I think you should. You think I should call her?" One thing I know about her is that she now, I think that if they're not bad people and they're not toxic, just because a relative is different from us or possibly follows a different religion than our culture, I don't think we should disown them. Unfortunately, this particular individual, who I won't name, went through that. He says, it was pretty sad. Especially after I passed away. They should have been there for her. Yeah, they should have. I will say, though, I think he was touching on it. I think he was. And I will say that I agree that this was about 8 or 9 years ago. And, somebody who might be more on YouTube than here might say, I think that this guy might be talking about news. And then, and there was a little bit of mention about names in heaven, or lack thereof. And, if she's like, yeah, and I do recognize him, realize I've not said her name, I've not said where I've met her from. And he says, I thank you for that respect. He says, I watch YouTube videos sometimes. I'm not going to stick with the accent. I think sometimes. I watch YouTube videos from time to time. I understand the point of view from a content creator as to why you might want to do this. I'm just happy that you talk to me. I just want to be heard. He says, I don't... Lots of my loved ones have not healed, he says, even after all this time. And he says, and I'm angry about it. I forgive them. I understand. But I I just wish they could hear me, he says. And that's why we all need to try. You know, whether it's through somebody that can or try to do it ourselves. And you know, both, honestly. It's great to appreciate the people that can, too. But, I mean, you know, seriously, though. Like, I mean, we all are going to lose loved ones in our lives that pass away. They want a connection with us. They do. And we want one with them, right? We don't want to think they're gone forever, right? And he's like, well, we certainly aren't that. And so we need to try. Hey man, sup? X-Afe. How are you? First time to the channel? And how did you come across it? Glad to have you here. I did go from 0 to 1, but I think it's just being maybe a bit wonky. So, I've been meaning to take my beverages, just plain old water and plain old coffee. I do put a little bit of something kind of unique in my coffee, and certain cultures might as well. Cultures put salt in their coffee. How are you, and what are we up to today? Yeah, I'm curious, by the way, is this your first time ever on this channel? How did you come across it? Glad to have you here. I'm okay. I'm a bit tired. I'm curious about what we're up to tonight. Cool. Well, welcome. Yeah, it seems like the algorithms and just simply scrolling is bringing, you know, it sounds weird, but anyway, let's stay focused here. He's like, I would like that. And I don't know how long you've been watching, and it actually doesn't even indicate that you are, but I think, sorry, do you believe in the afterlife? I don't know how long you've been, you know, I know at least 3 or 4 minutes you've been here. Because, yeah, I think that was it was a bit of me and it was a bit of him, and with something like with this individual, it's a bit easier. I think it's easy anyway, but I'm used to talking about it. Not all the time, but, you know, I'm used to talking about it, and I can tell whether I'm just thinking it, usually anyway, or speaking it. But the differentiation between me and this individual by having the accent might be it's like, and you might have to just relay it, write it out and relay it, he says, because she don't do much to do YouTube. Which, I mean, I didn't know. She may have. I think she maybe does occasionally, but anywho, okay, I'm not sure if you're still here, or saying anything. Maybe your phone died, because it seemed like you wanted to chat. So, anywho, but this fella certainly wants to, so I'm going to keep seeing what, dog's so used to it, but I don't even sense this thing so bad. See what this brings. See what he has to still say. And basically it's that, and if you are still here, or you just came back, maybe let it speak for itself, and then you can tell me what you think of it. Not that, especially if you accept and support and have curiosity about it, you know, otherwise we can keep our differences of opinion. And it's not really even an opinion, it's with this, it's I know what I'm experiencing, as much as I can, as it unfolds, and I've had many experiences. This one is a little bit different. He's like, oh, I'm different, and I don't want to say it's because it is, in a way, because it's someone of a different culture. It is, and that's not because I've never been open to. It's just it just is. And he's got a very nice, but kind of, well, I was, because I'm podcasting or whatever, and because I want to show how real it is, how special it can be, how possible it can be. And with this, like, I know the person, no, kind of, the person who he's connected to, and I probably won't remember all of this, and I maybe don't need to tell her all of this, and I'm not even sure if I will. He's like, well, I mean, you seem cool and all, but I wanted to talk to my mother. I mean, but I'll remind you, dude, that some of your other loved ones might see this too. And that you sound like somebody who is a fabulous person, as I said to your mother. You know, who you've definitely probably been through some stuff in your life, but you also very much want to be there, you know, when you were, you know, on this earth, and probably still from where, you know, where you're at. I would likely believe that, you know, that you want to be there for. He's like, I like everybody to be happy. So many people have so many problems, he says. And he just goes, again, I don't want to get too specific, but it's a great big world. It's a great big world. So even though these things might seem unique, it could apply to more than one person. It could. I know what I know. So, and he's like, I know. You know what I know, I know. Anyway, he says, can we be serious? So he's really helping to try and guide this along. But yeah, I just want to say, what I know about him is that, what I don't know about him, he may or may not tell me, is that he, I just got some of that stuff on my tongue unintentionally. He helped the homeless community. And apparently, at the funeral, it went for 6 or 7 hours. And there were so many people with stories. He says, my mother's heard a lot of things. He says, don't think that just because of culture that I did not know a diverse group of people. And I mean, I mostly don't think that, but some other people might, and maybe I do think it a little bit. But I've been learning that, thankfully, some people of other cultures, they, you know, as long as you're not racist and you're not a jerk, they aren't one to you. I mean, it's kind of in general the way the world is or should be. Often is and should be more, you know. And but I have been surprised, somewhat happily surprised recently that, you know, and they are younger, but whatever, or some of them, like they're, you know, university age or whatever. But I mean, basically, I'm thinking of 3, and 2 of them are one of them's a university student, and he says, there you go again, going off topic. You'll get used to my communication style. You'll get used to the fact that I'm doing this podcast, but I'm not meaning to be rude. And so this individual is saying, oh, first of all, so, sorry, just was eating a dry cookie. And I would like this to be a bit colder, to be honest. It's just water to water. It's just, I don't like room temperature. I don't like it, my teeth don't like it, like, really cold. And And, I do actually kind of hear him saying, this is glad you have the water to drink, sir. And I am. I'm thankful. I'm not saying I'm not, but I'm particular. I hardly ever drink alcohol, just so you know. Even the other day on my birthday, happy belated birthday, sir. Oh, you even knew it was belated. She's like, I pay attention. She's like, I may not have watched you, but I've been around. And he says, anyway, he says, Mother's doing okay. He says, it's taking her a long time, and I know that she's doing okay. And it's nice that there are people like you that can help make our connections for us. When I can, it's a beautiful thing. What? So this is interesting. This is the first, I would say. It's not pennies from heaven, it's bills. This is the first I've ever experienced this, or at least that I've realized. Earlier today, I was cleaning the couch. I was vacuuming a little bit, but it was before I started to. Between the back part and the other part, and I'm gonna have to go again with. Oh, frickers. Okay. Happy Christmas. Okay, so now you know I'm going to have to focus on that. What happened is we had a cushion also that got stuck between. Can you envision what I'm saying, or do I have to show you? The bottom of the couch and the back of the couch, I guess you would say. And it's full of these little white beads. Some people might say they look like fish eggs. I think it looks like fake snow. It is just super messy stuff because they've gotten stuck there, eh? And it was amazing how much is in those things. Because eventually I cut it just to kind of get it out a bit, and I couldn't get all of it. And the stuff, these cushions slide a lot, but the stuff was bouncing into the living room, and I couldn't figure out how. Like, how is it getting from underneath this cushion at this couch over there? And anyway, as I was saying before, I reached behind there and got a bunch of that stuff and a bit more of the cushiony material. Like, I really want to show you this. This is wild. And the person that was here for a second left, and they're like, I don't know what this is, but it's weird. Anywho, so, do I have to cook tonight, by the way? Because I should start looking at that. And I should also plug this in soon. I think I do, actually. So, clamor bang. Okay. I think I'm going to try and keep this at about 15 minutes more, maybe 25, but, okay, yeah, and I also have to make sure that the dog doesn't, okay. So anywho, much like that cushion, there was a $20 bill there. And I didn't remember, losing it, to be honest. Just kidding. And I feel like this fella just said, this is for talking to me. This is for taking the time out of my day to talk to him. And then when that other thing happened, it was kind of like, Merry Christmas. He says one thing he really loves is how his mother and his brother celebrate now, because they didn't used to. Not because of his passing, kind of more because of culture, and I've been learning a bit more about that lately. He says from the other side, he is so happy to be there with them for that, which I think is quite beautiful. All four of you left, and you're like, I don't know what the heck this is. Or at least it looks like you have. What does this say, out of curiosity? That it was wrapped in this paper. Well, one of the things it says, not about that part, but one of the things it says is actually mentioning the place where I met the mother. That looks like it's saying Bauzia dance nights. I don't know what that's about. Do you? Yes? That looks like it's a pepper. And it's actually a former dental receipt. And he's like, we all need to smile and be happy. Even though sometimes we don't feel like we are, we all need to smile and be happy. And I think that Jesus loves you. Thanks, Cat Master. Loves you back. It's not always evident, but when he gives me cool moments like this, it's special. And as I was saying earlier, you may not have heard it, God and religion can coexist with this thing. We all lose loved ones. God takes them for his reasons, if we wish to believe that. But he doesn't want us to fully lose them. You know, of course they will always be in our hearts and be in our memories. But he wants us to still have a connection with them. And if we don't, he'll eventually connect us with the medium. He will, or you know, because he gives people that gift. That's what I believe. I said it possibly even more beautifully in one of my other recent podcasts. But I do need to just very quickly do something here. He's like, but I gave you that because you actually are listening. You're actually talking to me. And he says, this is so cool. And he's saying the name of some Hindu god that I'm not processing, I think, because I'm not familiar with them and I'm just not processing it. But he's saying that, and of course, and I don't understand it, but this is the thing, like, you know, what do Christian, Catholic people think about the fact that some people, I can't remember, Carol knew someone that I knew from that culture. Was it the one from SR? I think it may have been. And she accepted her. What do they think of people that, of like a Hindu religion who apparently worship many gods, when they probably strongly feel like there's just the one? But everybody's different, and we all come to religion for different reasons. I'm just running some water for a moment, don't mind me. I always hate when G does it, but I just need to do it for a moment. But he's saying that God loves me. And I appreciate his bringing that in there for me. So, okay, I'm just starting some pasta, and he's joking with me that he eats that too. Just because he's of that culture, I wasn't necessarily assuming that's all they ate. Maybe some of them do, but he's like, anywho, I already said, so that's good enough. He's like, I don't want to take too much more of your evening, too much more of what you're doing here. You're bringing a lot of greatness into it, and I thank you. But no, I also appreciate that because somebody gave us snow on my birthday. First day of actual snow. I didn't think it was going to stick around, and sometimes the first snowfall doesn't. It might. And then that other stuff. And I just want to make sure. Hey! Sorry, I'm just talking to our dog. He wanted to go check it out. I don't think it's that harmful to him, probably, but, good with it. Here, I'll give you your food, okay? Just don't be noisy about it. Now, this is something that I also feel, that not everybody of that culture is afraid of dogs. But I do sense that he's a little bit unsure. But I'd like to say, dude, look at him. You know, I mean, yeah, he goes into protective mode if he needs to, but look at him. He's like, I see teeth. I'm like, that's a smile. That's the type of breed that he is. He just has an underbite. And he also was unfortunately born with dental issues. He says, oh, poor puppy. And I mean, it's not funny, but, you know. And he waves at him. But he sees him move and he's like, you're fine. But he's like, I'm about to breathe. I already died once. Guy's got a sense of humor. I gotta say, gotta give it to him. And it's not funny that he passed away. Of course it's not. But I guess I'll just say, is there anything else that you would like to say to our viewers, say to me? Hope that I can pass along to you know who, and that, you know, any of your loved ones that might hear this, and some of them say, well, we would deserve to know who it is in case, you know, we are connected to him. And I don't know if I've made it obvious enough, but this is something I've learned, and I said it in a couple of my recent videos. You know, what I have learned from them, in general, is that names are what we connect people with. They don't necessarily keep a name when they go there, which is why sometimes if we don't already know it, we don't get it from them. They just, it's not an important detail. There's so much other things they want to talk about, you know. It's just not a detail that, and it's fine if we still think of them that way, because, I mean, that makes sense, right? But, yeah, so basically, he says, okay, let me think. Sorry, I'm just trying to process something being communicated to me. And I'm also trying to get dinner moving, and I'm also trying to, can you clean up the snow that you brought? He's like, it was already there. I just made it happen. You sure did. Well, this is the one you mentioned. And maybe it would delay things a little bit, even though, because it is Friday, and maybe he'll kind of, gee, that is. Although, what is this charged at? Because I know it was getting low. 26? Okay, we're going to have to bring it up there. Not my favorite kind of noodle, but we have it. I haven't been eating this kind of noodle lately. The dog wanted to have the couple raw pieces that fell. Uncooked pieces. But we have it, we might as well eat it, right? You're like, what are you cooking? Nothing that fancy. That's not what this is about. You saw the title, didn't you? He's like, that's got a sense of humor. Where, didn't I just say that about him? Guy's not right. They're not wrong though either. When I said guy's not right, he very quickly jumped in with guy is right. Oh, it's lovely making your acquaintance. Anyway, so okay. He's like, what does the ba mean? It means I'm trying to multitask, run a podcast, cook, talk to him, process what he's saying. It's you know, and it's a different type of communication, and I have had, you know, lots of practice at it, and it's been coming back to me. You know, it's been after being rusty for a while. So I mean, but anyway, basically, okay. I don't usually do that. He's like, you've done it twice. Thanks for counting. Thanks for keeping track. You know, kind of thing. So, well, I go back to the happiness. He says, life is hard, and he says, there's a lot of sad people, for all the reasons. He says, try and find happiness. And I just, yeah, I want them to know that I'm with them over the holiday time, and he says, and always, really, and he says, I've never stopped loving them. She shared with me that her son said to her, and again, she'll know if it's her or someone that knows her, yeah, they'll know. But I'm still being actually quite vague. But she said that her son had said, her son that hadn't passed away had said, I and the one that had passed away still love you, love you, right? And that really touched her heart, And he's like, well, we do, Just because I died, we don't stop loving our loved ones. And again, I'm not meaning to sound like I'm mocking. He has an accent. It helps differentiate, and it makes it feel even more real than it does. I do have to plug my device in soon. Okay, so the message is be happy, keep loving, know that as different holidays approach, but always that our loved ones are with us. He's like, that is right, sir. I thank you for your time. Can I ask just one more thing of you before you go? Sure. First of all, I hope you appreciate the canines a bit more. He's a nice dog. But also, about mental health, about the people that might be struggling. I know that there are some people that meant a lot to you, that and to a lot of us that will relate to that. Anything you'd like to say to them? It's the happiness thing, bro. It's the happiness thing, and it's the love and be kind. That's what I like the world to be about, he says. And he also sounds like a French guy I know a little bit, named Roger, who has recently passed away, actually. And basically, he says, don't worry about things so much. Ironically, I had a friend have been getting to know and means a lot to this channel and to me, who sometimes I get a little bit mixed signals from him, but he truly does. And he had said, you worry a lot. I don't know why he said it. He says, people do worry a lot more than we do up here, he says. And he says, I don't blame them, but they need to relax. And know that people love them, that the heavens are real, that we are okay. As far as for the communities that are struggling out there, anything else? Stay strong. Just stay strong. And feel free to like, by the way, subscribe, hit the notification bell. This channel is about wellness, uplifting, healing, and I do music as well. But, and sometimes I show the fine art of multitasking in the most amazing things. Who would have thought cooking noodles was an amazing thing? But throw it all into the mix. He's like, I'm just really surprised that you could pick up on me. No, I'm not. But anyway, okay, I go now? All right, take care. And I'm going to also, I know somebody just tuned in, but I have to plug in my device. I just want to let it charge. I have to do some things. So if you haven't seen the rest of this, you're welcome to watch it as much as you can, or all of it at once if you like, and you left, but whatever, or at least it looks like you did. And I just wish everybody happiness and love until next time. And again, somebody just tuned in. If you're curious about this video or any other of the live streams, do feel free to check them out. Feel free to comment. Main thing is kindness. Comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and we'll talk again soon. Okay? Take care, everybody. Two people now.